Hey, Nathan Gotch here. So in this lesson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what is content, and I'm also going to show you what is SEO content. So there is kind of a difference between the two, but let me start with explaining what content actually is. So as you can see here from my illustration, that first of all, I'm not a good illustrator. So that's the first thing to get out of this. Number two, my writing is a little questionable, so that's why I write in all caps. So you're going to be seeing a lot of this throughout the course, so just get used to it. But number three is there are many different types of content. And so, when you think of content, you probably think of an article, you may think of a video, but in reality, there are about 5 different types of content. And this is important to know because with the strategies I'm going to be showing throughout the course, you're going to be combining a lot of these different types of content into a single asset. And so it's important to know what they are so you can be prepared for that in the future. So the first type of content is, like I said, an article. So this is the most obvious type of content, and traditionally most of your SEO-based content will have a significant amount of article-based content and a lot of words and a lot of things that are similar to that. So get used to, having articles as one of your main go-to content types. Secondly, video. So video is a huge content type, and video is only becoming more dominant as far as the way that people consume content online. So we're going to be getting a lot into video in this course because it's so incredibly important to the success of your SEO content now and into the future. This third type of content are pictures and infographics. So first, let me rewind here for a second. So article-based content, the majority of your article-based content will be on your actual website, but that may also involve going out and getting guest posts, which is not going to be something we're going to cover in this specific course, but articles are going to be primarily hosted on your website because those are going to be your branded assets. In addition to that, video, you're also going to be putting video within these articles as well, but you're also going to distribute those videos on YouTube as well because YouTube is the second biggest search engine, so you want to try to leverage that audience in addition to that. And thirdly, back to pictures and graphics. Pictures, a lot of people don't think of pictures as content, but they actually are content. And so to prove that, all you need to do is go to Instagram, go to Pinterest, go to Tumblr. Those channels have a lot of picture-heavy content. In fact, Instagram and Pinterest are primarily pictures, and now Instagram has a lot more videos, but it is primarily pictures. And so you need to understand that your pictures and even your graphics are a part of your content strategy, and you need to take it very seriously because it is really going to help build the perception of your brand in a positive way if you're taking great pictures or you're creating great graphics. So I'll be showing you a lot about how you can go about doing that in this course, but it's just important to know that you should be taking every single one of these content types very, very seriously. The fourth type of content, which is becoming very, very important, is audio-based content. And so this is my attempt at sound waves. Not the best, but audio is so incredibly important as well because if you can have video in your content, you can easily have audio as well because all you have to do is just pull that audio out of the video and put it into an audio file and have that on your content. So what will happen is adding each of these content types is going to add levels to your content. It's going to make your content deeper, and therefore it's going to make your content better than most people because most people are not going to create all these different content types for a single asset. So it's really important that you understand that each of these assets can really elevate your game and really make you stand out in, a big red sea of content that's out there. So audio content is a really big one. Not a lot of people are creating audio content. And plus, you can repurpose this as a podcast. You can put it on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Anywhere where audio can go, you can repurpose that. So it's really, really powerful. And lastly, the fifth type of content is an infographic. And so an infographic is just, a bunch of statistics or a bunch of information all on one graphic. And these have been abused a little bit over the past few years, but they can still be very impactful and are actually great great types of link bait and even share bait because people love sharing infographics because they're so easy to digest. So that's one thing you can add to your content to make it deeper as well. So these are the main content types you need to understand, and these are going to be the main types of content that you're going to be creating as far as your SEO content goes, and even creating link bait as well. So pretty much these 5, pretty much any type of content online is going to fall under one of these categories. So, and of course, there are micro categories for each of these, but these are the main 5 that you need to understand. All right, so now I want to show you the 2 types of SEO content that you're going to be creating in order to drive more organic search traffic to your website. So the first type of SEO content, and this is going to be the 80% of content that you're going to be creating, is keyword targeted content. And so traditionally, a lot of keyword targeted content is going to look very similar to this. It's going to have headline, it's going to have text, a lot of words, it's going to have images, it's going to have video, and it may even have audio files, and it may even have infographics to really deepen the content. And so this is the type of content that performs very, very well. But it's also important to know that not every single keyword targeted page that you're going to go after is going to need this level of content. And the reason for that is because of search intent. And so I'm going to be getting pretty deep into search intent, but for now, just understand that most content that you're going to create as far as keyword targeted content will probably be long form, but there are other scenarios where you're not going to need that type of long form content. And in fact, it may not even make sense to create long form content, and that's because of search intent. So we'll be getting into that later on, but for now, this is 80% of the content that you're going to be creating on your website is going to be targeting a specific keyword. And I'm going to be showing you how to find plenty of keywords that you'll be able to go after. But just remember, 80% will go after a keyword. And that's basically just to ensure that we're creating pages that people are actually interested in. And we do that through finding search volume and all kinds of other validation methods that I'll be showing you later on. So the second type of SEO content, which is the other 20% of the content that you should be creating. And before I get into this, just if you're just starting out, I don't recommend focusing on this really at all, because you really want to build up your strong foundation of keyword targeted content assets and really get those performing before you start jumping into these other methods that are a little more advanced and they require a lot more resources and time. But with that said, the point of this 20% of the content that you create, which is called link bait, is these types of content assets are all designed to attract backlinks naturally. And so they're specifically architected and created to attract backlinks. And that's why they're called link bait. So some other forms as well that you can consider, but they may not have as big of an SEO benefit, is share bait and viral bait. Share bait is very similar to viral bait, but basically what it is you're creating a content asset that's hopefully going to drive a lot of social shares because of the viral nature of that particular topic. So there's going to be a lot of these elements mixed together, but the main focus as far as SEO goes and as far as driving organic search traffic and most importantly building the authority of your website through acquiring backlinks naturally is going to be link bait. It's really important. So some types of link bait that you can create, now I'm going to be getting into this whole link bait side of things, but for now, some of the most effective ones I've personally seen, and I'm actually going to give you a swipe file as well. So you're going to get access to real content that has actually used these methods and has performed extremely well. So you can literally just take exactly what they did and then use the same exact concepts and apply that in your industry. So it's really, really powerful to do that. But some types of link bait that I know for a fact perform very, very well as long as they're executed the right way is tools and software. So this is the most obvious one. I can't believe how many people don't realize that this is like the biggest type of link bait. But if you go and just look through any industry, some of the top companies and top tools are using basically their business as a form of link bait. So for example, if you go to Moz.com, one of their biggest and most linked to assets is their Open Site Explorer, which is a tool and software. Open Site Explorer doesn't target a keyword. It's now a keyword because people are so interested in it. It's become a branded keyword for them, but it's just a tool and a software, and it's a very valuable piece of software. And when they created that, they may not have had the intention of acquiring backlinks, but that is the end result, because people just link to it all the time. And for example, in my articles that I'm writing, I'll link to Open Site Explorer because it's a resource for my readers. And so basically, most of these types of link baits are either going to be resources for other blogs, or they're going to be something that's going to help them amplify their content or help them prove something in their content. And so that's why they're able to attract links so effectively. And so some other great types of link bait are research, so unique research. So maybe going out there and finding unique information and then creating a content asset around everything that you found. That works really well, especially when it's unique. It has to be unique. The third is case studies. Case studies are very, very effective. So if you can create your own unique case studies with your own unique data, it is very, very powerful. So in addition to that, you can also do timelines. So these are just basically, if you want to do a timeline in the SEO industry, you could do, what has happened since 2000 all the way up into now, which is 2018, and just show that timeline of all the big events that have changed the way that SEO has been done. So you can think about that. I'll be getting deeper into how to actually go through that thought process, but these are just some of the ideas. The other one is ego bait. So you've probably seen these before: expert roundups, interviews. Those things do really, really well because usually the people that are involved in them will link to themselves. So people love promoting themselves. So if you put that asset on your website, hopefully you'll be able to get some traction from that, from those people that participated in the expert roundup or in the interview are going to share your page with their audience because they were featured on it. So pretty obvious, but it's very, very effective. And the other one is forecasts. And so this may be like, one that I really love that I found is an earthquake forecast, or earthquakes that have recently happened in California and other areas. And I'll have to find the website. I'll put it in the link bait section, but basically just shows all of the micro and larger earthquakes that have happened today and yesterday. And that's a really effective form of link bait because people will link to that as a resource. And so those are the two types of link bait that we're going to be focusing on in this course. There is a lot that goes into these two types of content, and especially keyword targeted content. So this is the bulk of what we'll be focusing on because this is the 80% of what you'll be doing. But we'll also be focusing on this link bait element as well, so that you can actually acquire links naturally and build the authority of your site so that this stuff ranks a lot easier. So that's all you need to know about, first of all, what is content? And second of all, what are the two SEO content types that you're going to be using? So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.